So taking a moment to settle yourself on your mat in Shavasana. So feet are as wide as the mat. Toes are falling outwards, relaxing the hips, the groins. Backs of the hands are to the floor. Palms are facing up and fingers gently curling inwards. And we're going to scan our physical body. So checking for any areas of tension or lightness. Anywhere that we're holding on. And then we'll check the quality of our mind. So are we distracted or relaxed this morning? What's the shape or texture of the thoughts or images? Do they even have form? Is it just a sensation? And then we'll come to the energetic body. So this may present as a tingling or a lightness, maybe a vibration. So just looking inward, seeing if you can feel anything here. And also it's no problem if you can't. And then we'll come to the breath at the belly, so the gentle rise and fall as you inhale, exhale. So there's nothing to change just yet. We're just witnessing. And we're going to try and find the gap between the inhale and exhale, and the gap between the exhale and inhale, the moment where the breath shifts direction and moves either in or out. See if you can feel this momentary shift. So we use our awareness in this way to help quiet the mind and come more fully into the body, just for these next 60 minutes of practice. So we're going to start with a few rounds of our yogic breathing. So most of you will be familiar with this. And this is a full breath, and we use it to train all of the muscles involved in inhale and exhale. So the diaphragm, intercostal muscles, stomach. So we fill up the lungs from the belly, so taking a breath right into the lowest portion of the lungs, filling up, and then we inhale into the middle chest, lifting the sternum and the ribs, and then into the upper chest around the collarbones. So we're filling up from the bottom, and then we exhale from the top down. So we draw the collarbones down first, upper chest, middle chest, lower ribs and sternum, and finally the belly squeezes down. So it's not a natural breath. It takes some effort, and you may notice you'll tense around the neck. These two tendons will pop out. But just as you exhale, making sure to root out the tension and relax back on your mat. So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. You can use Ujjayi breath if you're aware of it. trying to be really precise about inflating from the bottom and deflating from the top first. And it can take some time to learn this technique, so don't stress. So we're trying to increase the capacity of the lungs, the health, the vigor. And if we can make this area stronger, you'll notice that your asana practice, so your postural practice, advances quicker. A couple more of these breaths. Last one. Wonderful. We're going to come to the next variation now. So we're inhaling the same way, so from the belly all the way up to the collarbones, but then we exhale, drawing down the belly first. So we're continuing. It's called the double up breath. So we inhale belly, lower ribs, upper chest, up under the collarbones, and then we exhale belly, lower ribs, middle chest, sternum, upper ribs, collarbones. You're pushing upwards with the flow, so the undulation is moving in the same direction. So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. So inhaling. And again on the exhale, rooting out any tension, so the body can become quite tense because we're focusing on this isolation. And breathing out to relax the tension. And the shoulders and around the shoulder blades is a good place to check up, and around the feet and hands. We'll just do 2 more of these. And then we'll relax all technique and just watch the breath at the belly again. So these yogic breaths, they say you should do for 10 minutes a day, just to help support healthy functioning of the lungs and all the muscles involved, to stop the ribs becoming too rigid or stiff, to help moving the diaphragm, and also it'll help you with your asana practice. Wonderful. So we're ready to move. So taking our awareness to all the places we meet the floor. So scanning from heels to the back of the head, get an idea of the weight, the pressure, the shape, maybe the temperature of these contact points. And then all the places that we curve away from the floor and float in space. And now the whole of the back line, so supported and unsupported. all that information. And we're ready to move. Our next inhale floats the right leg up, bringing the knee into the chest, hands around the top of the shin. And as we exhale, we're gently squeezing the knee into the body. So compressing the hip flexor. If this is uncomfortable for the knee, please do take the hamstring behind the knee, and it's the same movement. So each exhale, draw the knee into the body. So using the natural softening that occurs to find greater opening. Two more breaths here. If you need to lighten the posture, you can bend the left knee, place the sole of the left foot to the mat. You'll notice that your pelvis eases up, or you can keep the left leg straight. Wonderful. Now holding the right knee in just the left hand, take your right hand and slide it down the front of your body, so brushing your tummy. So your arm is between your left and right leg, your left arm, right leg. And we're going to grab the outside of the right foot, if you can reach it. We want the head still to be to the mat. If this is too strong, hold onto the ankle or shin. So we're working a groin opener here with the hip compression. And again, you can bend the left knee, place the sole of the foot down, and you'll notice this lightens your posture. And we're moving as we exhale. Keep that right knee into the arm, so drawing it into the body. Just two more breaths here. One more deep inhale, exhale, really pulling into the groin. And we'll release the foot, give the knee a squeeze again, taking your strap now. So we're going to take the strap nearer to the heel than the toes, so behind the arch of the foot. So we don't want to be pulling the toes down too hard and putting extra strain on the back of the leg. So holding the strap in both hands, left leg can be straight or bent. We're going to take an inhale and draw the foot down. And exhale, we're straightening into the back of the right leg. So straighten it if you can. There's no problem keeping the knee bent also. And now we're going to move as we exhale. So we're drawing the foot towards us with each exhale. We inhale to pause. And exhale, draw the foot down. Couple more breaths here. Wonderful. So you can ease off the pressure a touch, so the leg is more at 90 degrees, and we're going to come into our glutes and piriformis opening. So firstly is to draw the foot down, so pulling the hip into the socket rather than towards you, so straight down to the floor. We'll take a deep inhale here, and as we exhale, we're guiding the foot over to the left side. So it may only come an inch, it may come a few inches, but the most important thing is to keep the right hip down, so we're not lifting the right hip. We want to isolate this group of muscles. You may feel this going down the side of the right leg. You may feel it up into the lower back, but there should be no pain. There should be no sharp sensations or kind of electric twanging. So all of these are bad sensations that we should move away from. There's a term they use in yoga called comfortable discomfort. It's something you can stay with. Your body's good at giving you the signals you need. Two more breaths here. And notice how every day we come to this stretch, or any of the stretches for that matter, they can feel vastly different. So it just depends on what we've been up to, what we've eaten, how hydrated we are. And we'll inhale back to center, releasing your strap. Now bending up the left knee, place the sole of the foot down, and we're going to take the right ankle to the left knee. So to begin with, we're just going to ease that right knee towards the bottom of the mat. So again, you should feel this in the glutes, slightly different stretch. And if you're comfortably here and you want to deepen, you can draw the left knee up towards you and either grabbing around the knee, or you can use your strap. So if we take our strap, it goes behind that knee and then it comes over the top of the right shin, and you're drawing the left knee in towards you. Right knee is still opening out towards the bottom of the mat. And we're breathing here, as always, pausing as we inhale, and as we exhale, drawing it slightly closer in. So this is a really good one to do with your left sole of your foot against the wall. And you can lie there for a good 10-15 minutes, and you're slowly moving your bum closer to the wall. Couple more breaths here. Wonderful. So we're going to let the left sole of the foot come back to the mat. Keep the right ankle in contact with the thighs. Release the arms to your sides. And now we're going to drop the legs as they are over to the left side. So the left thigh is going to come to the floor. Maybe the right sole of the foot meets the floor. So this is a gentle twist, and we should also feel some opening in the right hip. And if you're quite flexible here, you can move the right knee towards the left ankle, so you're opening the front of the hip. So we're isolating quite a tricky muscle to get into. Just two more breaths here. Wonderful. Inhaling back up to center. Release the right ankle and give the knee a hug in. And we're going to straighten both legs, let the toes fall outwards, and we'll just take a moment scanning the right and left side. So does one feel lighter, longer, one heavier and shorter? And also check in with the buttocks. Does one feel more spread and relaxed, and one higher and a bit more clenched? So this is the benefit we can gain even just from a few really simple stretches. Wonderful. Now coming for the left side. So inhaling the left knee up to the chest now. Take the hands around the top of the shin or behind the knee on the hamstring. And as we exhale, gently easing the knee into the body. And always utilizing the exhale. a natural softening that occurs. And 2 more breaths here. Again, you can bend up the right knee, place the sole of the foot down if it helps. And now just holding the left knee in the right hand, take your left hand, slide it down your tummy so it's in the gap made by your right arm and left thigh, and grab hold of the outside of the left foot. You still want to have your head down and keep the left knee into the body. So if your head is off the mat, bend up the right knee, place the sole of the foot to the floor, and you'll notice you have a lot more space. And so this is our groin opener with the hip compression. Couple more breaths here. Wonderful. And inhale, release that foot, taking the strap now. So the strap goes nearer to the heel than the ball of the foot. So we don't want to be putting extra stretch on the back of the knee while we're not that warm. So taking both hands on the strap again, you can bend the right knee up, sole of the foot down. We're going to inhale, drawing the foot down, and then exhale, try and straighten into the back of that knee. So the leg may be straight, it may not. That's where we're working. And if the leg is straight, as you exhale, you're drawing the foot down towards you. Just a couple more breaths here. Wonderful. So easing off the pressure slightly. So bringing the foot more up to 90 degrees. We'll take an inhale and we're drawing the foot down. So pulling the leg directly down into the hip socket. So we want to keep the left hip rooted to the mat. And as we exhale, guide the left foot over to the right side, and you should feel a stretch around the glutes, the piriformis, maybe up the side of the left leg or the back of the left leg, maybe into the lower back. And again, move away from any alarming sensations. And we breathe here, noticing any difference between the sides. I really needed this one this morning. 2 more breaths here. Wonderful. Inhaling back to center. You can release the strap, bend the right leg, place the sole of the foot down. Take the left ankle to the right thigh, and we'll just try here pushing the knee towards the bottom of the room. If you need more stretch, you can inhale, float the right knee up. Maybe you can hold onto the knee from there, or taking your strap around the back of the knee, over the top of the left shin, and use that to draw the knee in towards you. So the strap over the shin will stop the leg from slipping off. Using the exhale to bring the knee up towards you. Just a couple more breaths here. So floating the right foot back to the floor. Keep the left ankle in contact with the thigh. So now we're going to drop the whole thing over to the right. Keep the left shoulder down so it's a gentle twist. You'll feel your side waist opening. Maybe your left sole of the foot also makes contact with the floor, maybe not. And you'll feel the opening in sort of the side of the hip going into the top of the thigh. If you're here comfortably, we're working that left knee towards the right ankle, so it's moving towards the bottom of your mat. So trying to lever the front of the hip open. Wonderful. We'll inhale back to center and unhook the knee, I was going to say. Release the leg, give it a hug, and float both legs back to the floor. Let the toes fall outwards. And just check how your buttocks evenly spread. Have they both relaxed? The hips relaxed. So the same weight and length of the leg. Wonderful. We'll bend the knees up, place the soles of the feet to the floor near the buttocks. We're going to roll in and out of our bridge, so gazing only at the ceiling. Hands are down beside the buttocks. They can either be palm down or arms just relaxed. We're not coming into a full bridge. And as we inhale, we roll the pelvis towards us, peeling the spine up one vertebra at a time. And as we exhale, we roll down. So just move with your breath. We're just mobilizing the spine and the pelvis, getting some warmth in the legs. We'll just do 2 more of these. Lovely massage for the muscles of the back. And maybe you come a touch higher with each inhale. Last time. Wonderful. We're going to knock the knees now, right and left. Wake up the side waist. A bit more of a twist for the spine. Maybe there's some clicks. And the next time we come over to the right, we're going to roll over and we're making our way up onto our knees for our wide-kneed child's posture. So knees as wide as the mat, big toes are touching, and we're sitting back here on our heels. So your buttocks may not come into contact with the heels, mine don't. Arms are extended in front of us, fingers are spread, and before we bring the forehead down, we're just going to wiggle the hips side to side. So this can help ease out your groins and your hip flexors. Wonderful. Now we're going to place the forehead down and relax the body. So letting go of any tension in the arms, the shoulders, the legs. And we're going to come back to the breath. So the movement of the breath in the body. Maybe you feel the shoulder blades moving apart, the ribs reaching down and out. Maybe the spine undulating. And we're going to continue to move. So walking our hands over to the right side until you feel a stretch all the way from the left little finger to the left hip crease. So do walk until you find a really nice long stretch. It should feel like a wonderful opening rather than a strain. And we use the breath, so breathing deeply into the left side. Maybe you feel this in the tricep, the armpit, in the lats, the intercostal muscles, the side waist. And so rather than forcing into a stretch, we're breathing into the stretch. Just a couple more on this side. And then walking the hands back over through center and towards the left side until you feel a stretch all down the right. So maybe the right tricep, armpit, lats, intercostal muscles, side waist. And breathe deeply into the right side. Wonderful. Walking the hand back to center. Now this time finding our extended child's posture, but we'll engage the arms so the elbows are lifted, forehead is still down, shoulder blades working down the back. So you may feel that you can push into the hands to push the hips slightly closer to the heels. So now the whole of the back line is working, so the breath doesn't have so much room there. So where does it go? So we'll just take a couple of breaths. Feel where the body finds space. So we're learning how to have tension in the body or activation in the body, but also lightness and softness. Because if we're always rigid, we stop the breath. So here is a good place to see, where does the body accommodate the breath? Where can we let go? Wonderful. Then we're ready to keep going. So inhaling, floating up in one piece, coming to a tabletop posture. Hands under the knees, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. I've given up caffeine, so it might be that. And we're going to face the eyes of the elbows, so the elbow creases towards one another. So rather than letting them point forward, we're going to rotate the arms so that the creases are pointing directly across the mat. And we're going to try and maintain this as we do our spine articulation. So the arms are going to want to flail around. They're going to want to twist to the front. So it takes some control, you'll see as we start moving. So we're going to inhaling, dropping the belly, dropping the chest, gazing forward. And exhaling, contracting under the buttocks, up into the spine, rounding out your back. And continue with your breath and keep an eye on these arms. Try and keep the creases facing each other so your triceps will get involved, your shoulders. And 3 more. Try and make the motion larger with each breath. So getting deeper into the spine. So we're opening the front edge and the back edge, warming up the stomach muscles. Wonderful. We'll meet together in a neutral spine. So find the spine long, Length all the way from the tail to the crown of the head. So we're going to do our arm and leg raises. We're going to do them together, but if you want to isolate them and just do the arms or the legs on their own, please do. So we're going to inhale, floating the right arm and left leg, so opposite arm to leg, and reaching from the left heel all the way to the right fingertips. See if you can maintain that lovely long slow breath. There shouldn't be too much arching in the back. We want the back still to be straight. And breathing here. We'll take 2 more breaths. Pressing back through the heel, reaching forward through the fingers. 1 more deep inhale, another inch of length. And exhale, hand and knee back to the mat. Coming straight to the left side. So inhale, left arm, right leg. Press through the right heel. Reaching through the left fingertips, but we're not sticking out the left shoulder, so the left shoulder is still pulling back into the socket. 2 more deep inhale, exhales here. Last inhale, and then exhale, float the hand and knee back to the mat. So we'll just take 1 more cow and cat. So inhaling, drop the belly, drop the chest. And exhale, rounding up into the spine. So we're going to take our kneeling twist. So pressing down more firmly into the left hand. We're going to inhale, sweeping your right arm open, look up. And then exhale, back of the right arm along the mat, under the body, threading the needle, come to land on your right shoulder. And so from here, with each exhale, we're trying to roll a little bit more onto the right shoulder, so you'll feel the stretch around the right shoulder blade. So these muscles work really hard for us. If you can't get your shoulder down in this posture, just straighten your left leg, so the knee will lift off of the mat and you'll have a lot more room around the pelvis, and you'll be able to rest here. Couple more breaths. Wonderful. So our next inhale, we push down into the left palm. Inhale, uncurl, sweep the right arm back to the sky, and then placing it down to the mat. Coming for the left side, so leaning on the right hand, we'll inhale, sweep your left arm, open your chest, and exhale, back of the left arm along the floor, under the body, coming to land on your left shoulder. And use your right hand to try and roll your chest open. So each exhale, rolling a bit more onto the left shoulder. Feel that lovely stretch all around the shoulder blade. If you don't have enough room to get the shoulder down, please do straighten the right leg so the knee will come up, and you'll see you automatically have a lot more room for twisting. So following your body. One more deep inhale, exhale here. Wonderful. Pressing down into the right palm, we're going to inhale, uncurl, sweeping the left arm up before placing it to the mat. We're going to lean forward, tucking the toes, and there are 3 options here. If you know downward dog and you're comfortable to come into it, you can come straight in. Otherwise, you walk the hands back towards you a touch, and we're just stretching the Achilles, and the soles of the feet here. The next step is to lift the knees. You'll feel the stretch intensify. And if you want to come to the full expression, send your hips high into downward dog. And our first downward dog is never static. We're always walking out the dog. So bending one knee, then the other, easing into the calves, the Achilles. You can sway the hips. It's really free form. Take any movements that you feel you need. So depending what you've been up to this morning. So a couple more breaths in movement. And then we're going to come to stillness. So rooting down into the index finger and thumb knuckles and gently using that to lift the heel of your hand just a millimeter so the pressure in the heel of the hand isn't going to be as hard. So we're just trying to get out of the wrists, so let the forearms do more of the work rather than hanging out bone to bone. Shoulder blades down the back. Knees can be bent here, they never have to straighten, just follow your body. One more deep inhale, exhale. Wonderful. We're going to walk the feet up to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold, letting the head be heavy. And you can sway here. So bending one knee then the other. Taking any movements that work for you. Wonderful. And coming to stillness, you can bring the feet slightly closer together, and we're going to bend the knees and gently roll up through the spine, coming to standing. Hands at prayer at heart center. Big toes touch heels an inch apart. Spine is tall, lifting under the buttocks. Sternum lifts, tummy gently pulling in and up. Closing your eyes, let the blood pressure settle. Wonderful. Opening the eyes, and so we're just going to do one sun salutation to get into the hips. It will be modified. We won't come back to downward dog. And we're ready to move. Our next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms, look up, and exhaling to forward fold. Knees can be bent. And now from here, we're taking a flat back. So fingertips to the mat. We're going to inhale, lift the back, and we're breathing here. So the flat back, you can either have the legs straight, fingertips down. Legs can be really bent, and hands can also be to the thighs. So find your variation. And we're breathing here. So each inhale, try and reach the heart through. So rather than thinking too much about the back, think about the front edge of the spine where the heart space is. It's though you're drawing that down and through, trying to shine it to the wall in front of you. And you'll see this changes your experience of the spine and where the work is. And the exhale, you just soften gently. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Really stick your sit bones up. We're trying to show the sit bones to the ceiling. One more inhale. Wonderful. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to walk the feet back to a high plank. We're holding our high plank just for the inhale. And we're going to exhale. You can take your knees down to chaturanga. So low plank and then to our bellies. So we're going to do a gentle back bend here. So hands are in line with the chest. And we're going to untuck the toes so the tops of the feet are down. Draw your shoulders back. And now we're going to inhale, draw the chest through into a baby back bend. So elbows should be into the body. So your back bend may only be an inch off the floor, you may be several inches off the floor. It's just to do with your flexibility of your lower back. And we're breathing here. You can even take a gentle wiggle. So there should be no pinching in the spine. If there's any sort of crunchy feelings, pinchy feelings, calm down. So this is all about opening the body. We'll take one more inhale here. And exhaling back to our tabletop posture. So we're going to do a bit of hip work. So bringing your right foot forward, finding your lunge. So firstly, right knee above left ankle. I do not know what is wrong with me this morning. Right knee above right ankle, fingertips to the mat, and we're drawing the right hip back, left hip forwards. And we're breathing here. If you'd like to come further and float the torso up, you may do this. But we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. And we're trying to drop the pelvis to meet the right heel. So we're trying to push through, so greater opening in the left hip flexor. Couple more breaths here. Wonderful. And now we're leaning onto the left hand. So we're going to take a twist before we do our hip opener. So keeping the right knee where it is, into the body. You can come up onto the left ball of the foot if you wish. So drawing the left knee off the floor. Leaning on the left hand, we're going to inhale, sweep the right arm open into a twist. And we're breathing here. So inhale, feel like you can extend from the heel to the crown of the head, and exhale, twisting your heart a little more towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. So we're building strength and flexibility. Shoulder blade down the back, last exhale. And now hands to the mat, so bring your left knee down again. So now we're going to come into our hip opener. So leaning onto the left hand, turning the right toes out to 2 o'clock if there was a clock face under the foot. Have your right hand on your right thigh, and we're going to guide the knee open to the side. So we're coming up onto the blade edge of the right foot like this. Flex the toes towards you to protect your knee. And we're breathing here. You can move the torso around, find the sweet spot. If you're really open in the hips, you can come down into one or both forearms. It's up to you. It's still quite early in the day. Wonderful. Bringing both hands down. Now we're going to square the right foot. So we're going to do a hamstring stretch here. Excuse me. So we're going to push the pelvis backwards. So you'll see that you're calming onto the left knee, and then the right foot flexes up. So we're aiming to have the left hip directly above the left knee. Right foot is flexing towards you. You can be upright here. You can have your fingertips down. And the idea is that we inhale for length of the spine. And we're exhaling, we're letting the head be heavy. So you'll see this increases the stretch, also moves it slightly into the back. Drawing the right hip back. You can take support under the hands if you need blocks or cushions. We'll just stay for 3 more breaths here. Wonderful. Easing forward onto the hands, and we're going to switch the legs. So right leg is back, left leg is forward. So first things first, going to lean into the right palm. Sorry, we're actually going to open the hip first. So both hands to the floor, finding compression in your left hip, left knee above left ankle. Draw your left hip back, right hip forwards. If you want to raise the torso up, you can. Otherwise, we'll just stay here. I feel like I'm on the edge of a giggling fit this morning. Dropping the pelvis through towards the left ankle. Wonderful. Leaning into the right palm now, so you can straighten the right leg so that the knee comes off the mat, tucking the toes. We're coming for the twist to begin on this side. So inhale, left arm sweeps up, open the chest. Left shoulder blade down the back, so you're trying to show your heart to the ceiling. You can keep the right knee down also. So we're building strength here and flexibility. And see, where can you let go so that you can breathe easy? So it's very easy in these postures to become tense all over. One more deep inhale, exhale to open the chest. And coming back down onto the right knee. So we'll turn the left toes out to 10 o'clock, take the left hand to the left thigh, and we're going to guide that knee open. So we're coming up onto the blade edge of the left foot. And we're breathing here. You can move your torso around until you find the spot that feels good for you. You can also come down onto one or both forearms. Couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll lift up onto the hands. So squaring the left foot so it's facing back towards the front of the mat. And now we're easing back for our hamstring stretch. So you literally just push your pelvis backwards. Keep the left heel where it is at first, but you want your right hip above your right knee. And we're drawing the left hip back. And we're breathing here. You can be fully upright with your hands on blocks or cushions, or you can be leaning over onto blocks or fingertips. We'll take an inhale here, and then we exhale, rounding the head towards the shin. Let the head be heavy. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Last inhale, exhale. Wonderful. We're easing forward. Take the left knee back to meet the right. And we're going to walk our hands back towards us and sit into Thunderbolt Posture. So knees are together, feet are together. And we're sitting tall, hands to the thighs. So this may be really uncomfortable for you, so do leave this out if you have any knee issues. So we'll only be here for a short while. Spine is straight. As you inhale, feel that sense of lift in the spine. As you exhale, maybe you can feel the softening down. Maybe your buttocks are coming into more contact with the heels. We'll take one more deep inhale, exhale here. And then we're pitching forward onto our hands and knees. And we're making our way now to our comfortable seated meditation posture. So finding the spine nice and tall, with a sense of ease through the body. So you can be kneeling, you can be cross-legged in a chair, whatever works for you. We want the hips to be as relaxed as possible. And there is work to keep the spine upright, but it's not clenching. The ribs should be soft, because we want to be able to breathe here. Wonderful. So we're just going to do one round of 30 Kapalabhati. So most of you have done this. It's the sharp contraction of the belly, the lower belly I should say, transverse abdominis. And the most important thing is that you keep the chest lifted. This is how air re-enters the body. And we only focus on the exhale. It comes out through the nose. We don't worry about the inhale. It happens naturally. And we'll take this nice and slow. So up to 30 strokes, you can stop whenever you wish. Inhaling. And now we sit in quiet meditation. And we'll make our inquiries, so physical body, quality of the mind, and then finally energetic body. So take your time going through these three places. And we'll close our practice with a round of Om Valom, alternate nostril breathing. So raising up your right hand, index finger and middle finger between the eyebrows. We use the thumb to close the right nostril. We inhale through the left nostril. Close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. So this constitutes one round. So we'll continue to go in left, out right, in right, out left, with your own rhythm. And the last instruction is to make your breath so quiet that you can't even hear yourself. And the next time you exhale through your left, relax the hand down, and we'll just sit for a minute or so in quiet meditation. And we'll draw our awareness to the space of the heart. So not the biological heart, but the space directly behind the sternum, in the middle of the chest. And we'll just take a few gentle breaths in here. Never forcing in. Just lightly inhale, exhale. We'll take our hands to the heart, either in prayer mudra or one hand on the heart, the other hand on top. And we bow that out and say thank you for our practice this morning. Lovely to be here with you all.